Did you know that some women who swallow their partner's semen might experience a boost in their immune system, and that regular sex could help prevent life-threatening diseases such as cancer? If that grabs your attention, you're in for a treat. In this video, I'm going to unveil some truly mind-blowing sex-related facts, all backed by scientific research. These are the kinds of insights you don't hear every day, and they might just change the way you think about intimacy and health. But that's not all. Stay with me, because we're about to dive into a world of fascinating facts that will make you rethink everything you know about pleasure, relationships, and the human body. Did you know that 1 in every 7,000 women is born without a vagina? This shocking condition, known as vaginal agenesis, is often discovered during puberty, leading to a deep emotional journey for those affected. I'll also share how something as simple as using emojis in your texts could be a sign of deeper sexual interest, or how the primal instincts in animals can give us clues about human sexuality. Want to learn the secret to reigniting passion in your relationship after 60? I've got you covered with practical advice straight from my digital book, Rediscovering Intimacy: Healthy Sexuality After 60. And let's not forget about those powerful emotional connections that make sex truly mind-blowing. Studies show that the most intense experiences happen when you're in love with your partner. But there's so much more. Did you know that your sense of smell can enhance pleasure? Or that orgasms could improve sperm quality? These unexpected facts will not only surprise you, but also give you a new perspective on intimacy. Stick around to the end for insights that will transform the way you look at pleasure, health, and relationships. From understanding the science behind orgasm to uncovering the secret emotional connections that make intimacy so powerful, this video has everything you need to deepen your bond and enhance your sex life. Don't miss out on these eye-opening facts that you won't hear anywhere else. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Did you know that some women who swallow their partner's semen may experience a surprising boost in their immune system? And, if that wasn't fascinating enough, regular sexual activity has been shown to help protect against life-threatening diseases like cancer. I know it might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but these are real facts backed by scientific research, and they could dramatically change the way we think about sex and its impact on our overall well-being. If this has sparked your curiosity, you're in for a real treat. In this video, I'm going to share some truly eye-opening and mind-blowing facts related to sex and intimacy that are supported by hard science. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on these incredible insights. They could completely transform your understanding of your body and relationships. Let's start with something that truly took me by surprise. Did you know that 1 in every 7,000 women is born without a vagina? This rare condition, known as vaginal agenesis, is something that many of us might never even have thought about, yet it affects real people. It often goes unnoticed until puberty, when a young woman's body starts changing in ways that don't match what's expected. This leads to a deeply emotional, confusing, and life-altering journey toward understanding her own body and coming to terms with her condition. Imagine living your entire life with a body that feels different, but not knowing why, only to suddenly discover, usually during puberty, that your body is not what you thought it would be. The emotional weight of this realization can be overwhelming. Feelings of confusion, isolation, and even self-doubt can flood in as someone learns to process such a profound truth about themselves. This experience is not just physical. It deeply impacts the emotional and mental well-being of women who face it. It's an intensely personal, challenging journey, one that can alter a person's entire perception of their own identity, relationships, and sexual health. It makes you realize just how complex and unique female anatomy can be and how it's far from one size fits all. These stories of struggle and resilience are more common than we might think, and they open our eyes to the vast spectrum of experiences women go through when it comes to their bodies. But the mind-blowing revelations don't stop there. Let me share something else with you that made me stop and think. We live in a world that's becoming increasingly digital, and technology is changing the way we communicate in ways we never imagined. A fascinating study conducted in North America revealed something that most people might find surprising. Women who use emojis frequently in their texts are statistically more likely to send intimate photos, like nudes, if the situation allows them to feel comfortable enough. Now, this might sound like a simple observation, but when you dive deeper, it opens up a whole new world of understanding about how we connect emotionally and physically. The seemingly innocent act of sending a smiley face or a wink in a text message is a small but significant way of expressing emotions, desires, and intimacy in the digital age. It's like a hidden language, a nonverbal form of communication that carries the weight of affection, attraction, and even vulnerability. What's so powerful about this is that it reveals just how connected our emotional lives are to the technology we use every day. Emojis, once thought of as nothing more than cute little symbols, have become a crucial tool for conveying emotions in text-based communication, allowing us to express things we might otherwise struggle to say. They're a way to soften messages, show affection, or even flirt, all without a single spoken word. And when you think about how that translates into the realm of intimacy, it's pretty amazing. These tiny symbols are part of the larger shift in how we navigate our desires and how we feel safe expressing them. The study hints at how modern technology allows people to explore intimacy, not just through face-to-face encounters, but through a whole new virtual space that's just as real as any physical connection. In a way, this shift highlights how sex, intimacy, and connection have evolved over the years. Technology is now an integral part of how we build and maintain relationships, whether romantic or platonic, and it's amazing how it has transformed the way we communicate and express desire. The emotional bonds that once relied solely on face-to-face interactions now have an entire digital dimension to explore. Emojis, text, social media interactions, and even video calls are all creating new channels for human connection, allowing us to be more open, more expressive, and, in many ways, more vulnerable with one another. It's extraordinary how much we've learned about sex, intimacy, and human connection, especially in recent years. With all of this information, it's clear that our sexual health is far more interconnected with our emotional and mental health than we might have ever realized. Understanding the science behind our bodies, the way technology shapes intimacy, and the deep emotional layers that come with relationships can truly change the way we approach our bodies and our connections with others. The more we learn, the more we realize that our bodies, minds, and hearts are all tied together in this incredibly complex and beautiful way. So, if these revelations have already left you curious and wanting to know more, stick with me. We're just scratching the surface of some amazing facts that are going to reshape your perspective on intimacy, relationships, and health. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's keep exploring this fascinating world of sex, intimacy, and the power of our connections. Let's delve into something truly profound. Pleasure. It's one of the most powerful experiences we can have as human beings, and it's often in the simplest, most intimate moments where it reveals its deepest magic. Have you ever experienced the raw intensity of a simple kiss on the neck or a gentle lick on the ear? These seemingly small gestures can send an overwhelming shockwave of pure bliss throughout a woman's entire body, reaching places that are sensitive beyond belief. Her vagina, in particular, responds intensely to these sensations. The skin in these areas is hyper-responsive, and when touched the right way, it can trigger an immediate, almost electric arousal. It's as if her body comes alive in that moment, reacting to every brush of skin, every soft caress. The sensation is so powerful that it deepens the emotional and physical connection between partners, creating an unspoken bond that is more than just physical intimacy. It becomes a shared experience that speaks to the heart. Imagine the feeling of being in a moment where time slows down, and all you can feel is the warmth of your partner's touch, the softness of their lips, and the tenderness of their attention. The emotional connection is so profound that it transcends the body itself and touches the soul. It's in those moments when something as simple as a kiss can feel like an entire world opening up between two people. It's not just about physical pleasure, it's about emotional depth, vulnerability, and trust. These intimate touches are powerful because they communicate more than words ever could. They speak directly to the essence of connection. Now, let's talk about something a bit more raw, our primal instincts. Have you ever wondered just how deep these instincts go? Let's take a look at the wild side of sex for a moment. The black widow spider is a creature that embodies one of the most extreme displays of desire. She is known for her lethal appetite, and it's not just her venom that makes her infamous. It's what she does after sex. If she's hungry, she may devour her mate, and on particularly ravenous days, she can consume up to 20 males in just one day. While that's shocking and a little chilling, it's also a fascinating reminder of the primal, animalistic urges that still exist beneath the surface of every living being, including us. There is an undeniable, raw, instinctual drive that governs our behavior, even in the most intimate acts. It's a reminder that beneath the civilized exterior, there's a deep, ancient force of desire that we still carry with us, often without even realizing it. It's a sobering thought that desire, love, and even the instinct to claim and dominate have been ingrained in us for millennia, and in some ways, these primal urges never fully fade away. So, why am I bringing this up in a conversation about intimacy? Because I believe that understanding the full scope of desire, both the delicate, tender side and the wild, untamed side, can help us rediscover passion in a way that feels natural and empowering, no matter our age. That's why, if you're over 60, and perhaps feeling like the spark in your relationship has dimmed a bit over the years, I want to share something truly special with you. It's a resource that will help you reignite that passionate connection with your partner, or even just rediscover your sense of desire. I'm thrilled to introduce Rediscovering Intimacy, Healthy Sexuality After 60, my digital book that's packed with emotional wisdom, practical advice, and tools to help you reignite the fire of intimacy in your life. This book is more than just a guide. It's an invitation to reclaim the power of pleasure, connection, and emotional intimacy in your life. No matter your physical limitations or the changes that time has brought, this book will show you how to awaken your body, your emotions, and your relationship in a way that feels deeply fulfilling. It's about more than just physical connection. It's about rekindling the emotional bond that can sometimes fade with age. Together, we'll explore ways to bring new joy and intimacy into your life, helping you create a love life that feels as vibrant, thrilling, and satisfying as ever. Whether you're looking to reignite your relationship after many years, or simply explore new ways to experience connection and pleasure, this book is your guide to doing just that. It's filled with advice on how to overcome common challenges that come with aging, how to communicate openly with your partner, and how to rediscover your sexual self. I genuinely believe that age should never be a barrier to experiencing love and intimacy. In fact, with maturity comes the freedom to embrace who you are, to enjoy life more fully, and to savor every intimate moment. You've earned that right. So, I want you to take action today. Don't let the opportunity slip by. Click on the first pinned comment to grab your copy of Rediscovering Intimacy, Healthy Sexuality After 60 now. This could be the change you've been waiting for, the spark that reignites your relationship and your sense of self. Availability is limited, so don't wait too long. Your journey to rediscovering passion, pleasure, and connection is just a click away, and I am here, cheering you on every step of the way. Let's take a deep dive into the essence of being human. There is something truly remarkable about the way we experience intimacy, especially when we're deeply in love with another person. Studies conducted by the American Sociological Association reveal a beautiful and profound truth. The most intense, mind-blowing sex occurs when you are fully immersed in love with your partner. The emotional connection you share with someone you cherish transforms the physical experience, turning what could be a routine, ordinary act into something extraordinary. This bond, strong, vulnerable, and real, adds depth and meaning to every touch, kiss, and caress. It's not just about the physical pleasure. It's about something far greater. The union of two souls, two hearts, two bodies, entwined not just in lust, but in love, trust, and shared experiences. This connection amplifies the senses, filling every moment with a sense of euphoria and intimacy that can only come when two people truly understand and care for each other. But, of course, there's another side to this equation that we need to acknowledge, one that isn't always easy to discuss. Despite this powerful connection between love and sexual fulfillment, research shows that about 70% of men still avoid sex during their partner's menstrual cycle. This, in itself, opens a door to another vital conversation. One that is not just about physical pleasure, but also about comfort, communication, and emotional understanding within relationships. I often think about what this says about us, about how we approach intimacy and vulnerability, and how we navigate moments of discomfort. It's easy to assume that because menstruation is seen as inconvenient or even unpleasant by some, it becomes a barrier to closeness and intimacy. But isn't it fascinating that true emotional and physical connection is about breaking down those barriers? It's about transcending discomfort and embracing every part of your partner, even the parts that might be less than perfect by societal standards. Love isn't about avoidance or shame, it's about acceptance, care, and connection, through thick and thin, periods included. I can't help but feel that this reluctance reveals a deeper issue in many relationships. One where communication is lacking, where emotional closeness isn't prioritized, and where physical intimacy becomes transactional instead of sacred. It's something that we, as individuals and couples, need to address. Relationships thrive when both partners are willing to face discomfort with understanding, to communicate openly, and to be fully present for one another, periods and all. Now, let's shift our focus to something truly fascinating: the power of scent. You may have noticed how certain smells can trigger powerful emotions. Whether it's the scent of fresh flowers, the aroma of your favorite dish, or even the comforting scent of your partner's skin. If you've ever had a heightened sense of smell, you might be in for an incredibly intense sexual experience. Scents like sweat or vaginal discharge, both rich in pheromones, are capable of intensifying pleasure in ways you might never have imagined. These pheromones aren't just odors. They are chemical signals that speak directly to our instincts. They activate our deepest desires, creating a magnetic pull between two people that goes far beyond just physical attraction. These primal scents unlock something that is so much deeper than what we can consciously comprehend. They ignite a deeper connection that we might not even be aware of at first, but once you experience it, you'll understand the profound impact they have on our intimate lives. It's like the body is sending out invisible signals that bring us closer, heightening attraction and amplifying the emotions tied to the act of being together. To me, this only deepens the wonder and complexity of human sexuality. It's not just about physical attraction, it's about how every sense, touch, sight, sound, and smell, comes together to create something magical and transformative. And it's in these moments of heightened sensory awareness that we often feel the deepest connection to another person. It's as if the universe itself conspires to bring two souls closer, bound not just by love, but by the invisible forces of chemistry. Speaking of chemistry, let's talk about the science of pleasure and fertility, another element that's both fascinating and enlightening. Did you know that orgasms improve sperm quality? It's true. Frequent, passionate sex doesn't just feel good. It has a real, measurable impact on your reproductive health. Orgasm can lead to healthier, higher quality semen by reducing DNA damage in sperm. Isn't that incredible? It's as if our bodies are perfectly designed, not only for pleasure but also for the miracle of reproduction. This discovery gives hope to couples who may be facing mild fertility issues. It shows us that the act of intimacy is more than just about satisfying physical needs. It's about nourishing and optimizing our bodies for conception. Regular, loving sex can be part of the solution to fertility challenges, serving as a reminder that our bodies are finely tuned machines, designed to work in harmony with nature. It's a beautiful example of how the connection between love, pleasure, and reproductive health isn't separate from one another. They are intertwined, each part reinforcing the others in a deeply meaningful way. I find this truth incredibly inspiring because it shows just how powerful and interconnected we are as human beings. It's not just about feeling good at the moment. It's about creating something meaningful and lasting, whether it's the connection between two people or the possibility of bringing new life into the world. As I reflect on these findings, I can't help but be in awe of how much we still have to discover about ourselves and our sexuality. There is so much depth to our experiences, so much hidden complexity that we're only beginning to understand. Our sexuality is far more than just physical. It's an intricate dance of emotions, connection, and primal forces that shape how we bond with others. It's awe-inspiring to think about how, when we allow ourselves to embrace these truths, we can deepen our connections, enrich our lives, and discover even more profound ways to love, connect, and experience joy together. And the best part is, we're only scratching the surface of this incredible journey. The more we learn, the more we uncover the beauty, complexity, and power of human sexuality. Something I find endlessly fascinating and deeply moving. When we talk about solo pleasure, it's important to recognize that masturbation, often affectionately referred to as solo sex, is not just a simple, fleeting act. It's an incredibly personal and empowering experience that can offer a myriad of physical, emotional, and psychological benefits. It can be a profound journey of self-exploration, allowing you to truly connect with your own body in a way that you might not otherwise. Psychologist Anna Al, based in Istanbul, Turkey, highlights just how transformative engaging in solo sex can be. It's more than just about satisfying a physical need. It's about cultivating a deeper, more intimate relationship with yourself. Masturbation allows you to explore your desires, figure out what feels good, and understand your body's unique responses. This self-awareness can be incredibly liberating, giving you the confidence to embrace your pleasures without guilt or shame. The benefits of solo sex go far beyond mere physical pleasure. When you engage in this intimate act, you also boost your self-esteem and develop a healthier sense of body positivity. By exploring your sexual preferences and learning what works for you, you gain a level of self-confidence that can carry over into other aspects of your life, including your relationships with others. Masturbation can also provide a sense of sexual fulfillment, which is often more consistent and satisfying than the unpredictable dynamics that sometimes arise in sexual interactions with a partner. The emotional and physical benefits it offers are just as significant as those experienced during sex with another person. But the key difference is that it's an opportunity for personal, unhurried exploration. In a world where intimacy with others can sometimes be complicated, whether it's due to societal expectations, personal insecurities, or relational challenges, masturbation offers a safe and empowering way to reconnect with yourself. It's a moment where you're fully in control, free from any pressure or external influences. It becomes a beautiful act of self-care, where you're given the chance to deeply explore your desires, your body, and your sexual identity, all on your terms. Now, let's shift our focus to the incredible emotional connection that intimacy between two people can foster. There's something undeniably special about the bond that forms after a physical connection with another person, especially the feeling of deep relaxation, trust, and connection that comes when oxytocin, the so-called love hormone, is released into the body. After sex, this powerful hormone floods your system, making you feel incredibly connected to your partner, both physically and emotionally. It creates a sense of calm, bonding, and comfort, almost as if the world slows down and you're wrapped in a cocoon of affection and trust. This hormone doesn't just enhance feelings of intimacy, it can also increase trust between partners, leading to stronger emotional ties and more profound, lasting connections. There's an almost magical quality to the way oxytocin works, as it deepens the emotional bond between two people in a way that is nearly impossible to replicate through other means. One study, in particular, reveals how powerful this hormone can be. When strangers were given a nasal spray containing oxytocin, they reported feeling a stronger sense of trust and connection toward each other. It's an eye-opening reminder of how deeply our bodies are wired to form meaningful, loving relationships, and how trust and intimacy are not just about words or actions, but also about the subtle biochemical reactions that take place when two people truly connect. In a world that often feels disconnected, these moments of shared physical closeness remind us of the power of emotional bonds and the beauty of human intimacy. But just as intimacy with a partner can lead to the release of hormones like oxytocin, it's important to recognize that human sexuality itself is a complex, diverse, and ever-evolving landscape. We are all unique, and so are our sexual experiences. Human sexuality is fluid, and it is influenced by countless factors, from upbringing to culture to individual emotional and psychological development. One fascinating aspect of sexual diversity is the recognition that many people within the lesbian, gay, and bisexual communities may have experienced heterosexual encounters in their youth, yet they remain true to their identity as LGBTQ+ individuals. On the other side of the spectrum, many individuals who identify as heterosexual have had same-sex experiences at some point in their lives, yet they continue to identify as straight. This serves as a powerful reminder of just how intricate and personal our sexualities are. There are no universal rules or one-size-fits-all labels when it comes to who we love, how we love, or what gives us pleasure. Sexuality is a journey that each person navigates in their own time and in their way. It's complex, yes, but it's also beautiful in its fluidity. And embracing this diversity allows us to foster a more open, accepting society where individuals are free to explore their identities without fear of judgment or restriction. The fluidity of human sexuality also underscores the importance of self-acceptance and compassion. Each person's sexual identity and experiences are valid, whether they align with conventional labels or not. This fluidity also reflects the incredible depth of human connection, the ability to love and experience desire in ways that transcend societal norms. It challenges us to rethink the rigid categories we sometimes place on people and to embrace the diversity that exists within the spectrum of human experience. There's something truly liberating about recognizing that our sexual identities and experiences don't have to be defined by anyone else's standards. We are all entitled to explore and express our sexuality in ways that feel authentic to ourselves. And in a world that's constantly changing, we must allow ourselves, and others, to evolve. Sexuality, at its core, is about personal discovery and connection, and each journey is uniquely beautiful. Ultimately, whether it's through solo pleasure or intimacy with a partner, the journey of sexual exploration is deeply personal and meaningful. It's about understanding your body, embracing your desires, and fostering emotional connections that nurture and fulfill you. The richness of human sexuality lies in its diversity, and the more we understand and accept that diversity, the more we can create spaces where people can thrive in their authenticity, free from shame and judgment. Formicophilia, an attraction to the sensation of insects or worms crawling on the body, is one of the many sexual interests that, to some, may seem downright bizarre. It's understandable why some might recoil at the idea. It's a thought that can provoke discomfort or even disgust for many. But for others, this particular interest can be a source of deep pleasure and unique satisfaction. What initially feels strange to one person can be an incredibly intimate and stimulating experience for another. This vast spectrum of sexual preferences is a profound reminder of just how varied and boundless human desire can be. Sexuality is not a one-size-fits-all experience, and this diversity is beautiful. The interests we harbor are often shaped by our personal experiences, traumas, fantasies, and unique perceptions of pleasure. Rather than dismissing the unusual, we should approach it with curiosity, respect, and an understanding that everyone's path to satisfaction is as valid as the next. What might seem unconventional at first glance is simply a different way of experiencing the complex and wonderful world of intimacy. For men, maintaining a healthy and active sex life is much more than just a source of pleasure. It's a vital component of long-term health. Engaging in sex at least once a week has been linked to a dramatic reduction in the risk of cardiovascular issues, strokes, and diabetes, all of which are prevalent in older age. But the benefits of sexual intimacy don't stop there. Beyond the immediate physical effects, men who engage in regular sexual activity also experience significant improvements in their mental and emotional well-being. Sexual intimacy fosters connection, relieves stress, and promotes the release of feel-good hormones, all of which contribute to an overall sense of well-being. And the impact isn't just short-term. Studies show that sexually active men are statistically more likely to live past the age of 80, suggesting a link between sexual vitality and longevity. This is not just a reminder of the pleasures of physical connection, but also a reminder that intimacy is crucial for vitality and the long-term health of both the body and mind. As we age, it's easy to feel disconnected from our bodies, but a healthy sex life is one way to maintain that connection, enriching our lives and helping us to feel truly alive. In many ways, it can be seen as an act of self-care, one that nurtures not only the body but also the soul. Then there's the fascinating and often misunderstood world of sexual fantasies. One fantasy that many people share is the concept of group sex. While it may seem like an activity only for the adventurous or the uninhibited, the truth is that group sex is more common than we might realize. Studies show that more than half of those who fantasize about group sex have turned it into a reality at some point in their lives. This speaks to a profound truth about human sexuality, that we are all drawn to explore and push boundaries in different ways. Fantasies, no matter how tame or extreme, serve as windows into the psyche, helping us understand our desires and the nuances of our intimate lives. Whether the fantasy involves multiple partners or exploring new dimensions of intimacy, it is a testament to the vastness of sexual expression and how we continuously seek to push our limits. While some may dismiss these fantasies as strange or taboo, they are often harmless and can provide an important space for individuals and couples to explore and experience their sexual desires in a safe and consensual way. Sexual fantasies are common. Many people are surprised by how much they mirror the fantasies of others. They might think they're alone in their desires, but in reality, they are part of a larger and more shared human experience than they may have initially thought. Whether it's a longing for something forbidden, an exploration of a hidden desire, or an opportunity to escape into a world of new sensations, sexual fantasies contribute to the rich tapestry of human sexual experience. They are just as important as the real-life experiences they sometimes mirror, offering both individuals and couples an opportunity to explore their desires, push boundaries, and, most importantly, better understand their unique sexual needs. These fantasies help foster a sense of connection to one's desires and to others who may share them. It's incredible how something as seemingly personal as a sexual fantasy can unite so many of us in shared experiences, bringing us closer to understanding the complexities of our own sexual identities. In contrast to these fantasies, it's important to recognize that some people experience sexuality in a vastly different way. Around 1% of the global population identifies as asexual, meaning they do not feel sexual attraction to others. For asexual individuals, intimacy is experienced in ways that don't revolve around sexual desire. Their experiences remind us that sexuality isn't always about the drive for physical connection. Asexuality challenges us to rethink the very notion of attraction and reminds us that intimacy can take many forms. For many asexual people, emotional connection, deep friendship, and mutual respect form the foundation of their closest bonds. In a world that often emphasizes physical attraction and sexual intimacy as the ultimate form of connection, asexuality offers a refreshing perspective, one that underscores the diversity of human experience and the many ways people can experience love and connection. The asexual community teaches us that intimacy doesn't require sex. It simply requires understanding, respect, and shared emotional experiences. Speaking of the origins of sexuality, it's fascinating to think that sexual reproduction was first observed in ancient life forms around 30 million years ago, with scientists identifying an early organism called Fadortha as the first living being to engage in sexual reproduction. This monumental event marked the beginning of a process that would go on to evolve in complex and unexpected ways. From these early stages of life, sexual behavior has been continuously evolving, adapting, and shaping the course of life on Earth. The act of reproduction, once a basic survival mechanism, has transformed into an intricate and deeply meaningful aspect of human existence. From prehistoric creatures to modern humans, the act of connecting with another person in an intimate, sexual way has been woven into the fabric of life across centuries and millennia. This evolving nature of sexuality can be seen not only in the broad sweep of history, but also in the daily lives of people today. It's surprising to realize just how prevalent intimacy is in our everyday routines. Take workplace romances, for example. Around 1 in 5 people have had sex with a coworker at some point in their lives. This speaks to how deeply human sexuality is embedded in every aspect of life, often finding its way into spaces we least expect. The workplace, with its professional environment and social boundaries, can still be a fertile ground for intimacy to bloom. Whether it's a one-time affair or a deeply emotional connection, workplace romances remind us that intimacy often thrives in the unlikeliest of places. It serves as another reminder of the vast range of human experience and the many forms intimacy can take, from the most passionate of moments to the quietest, most tender exchanges. Whether or not we admit it, sexuality is everywhere. It's in the spaces between conversations, the glances we share, and the moments of connection that punctuate our daily lives. Ultimately, the vastness of human sexuality is a celebration of our complexity as individuals and as a species. From the wildest fantasies to the quietest expressions of intimacy, sexuality is a part of who we are, woven into our experiences, our identities, and our relationships. It reminds us that every person's journey toward intimacy and connection is uniquely their own, shaped by their desires, their curiosities, and the ever-changing landscape of human experience. Whether through the lens of physical health, emotional connection, or sexual exploration, the human experience is a tapestry of rich, varied threads that continue to evolve with every passing day. According to a fascinating and eye-opening study by Match.com, an impressive 44% of singles report that they experience orgasm almost every single time they have sex with someone they've been intimate with before, such as an ex-partner. While at first, this statistic might seem simple or even unremarkable, it speaks volumes about the deeper dynamics of human intimacy. It's a reminder that, when it comes to sexual satisfaction, it's not merely the physical act that matters. The real key to unlocking deep, fulfilling sexual experiences lies in familiarity, trust, and, most importantly, the emotional and psychological bonds that develop between partners over time. This connection isn't just a fleeting moment. It's a foundation built on shared experiences, mutual understanding, and emotional vulnerability. When you know someone intimately, when you've shared moments, laughter, and even challenges, that deep emotional intimacy allows for a level of comfort and safety that enhances every touch, every kiss, and every moment of connection. That emotional bond transforms an experience that could be just about physical pleasure into something far more powerful and significant. In my own experience and belief, the value of trust and emotional intimacy cannot be overstated. When you're with someone who you know deeply, when there's a history and understanding of each other's needs, desires, and vulnerabilities, something magical happens. You become more than just physical beings. There is a profound connection that allows you both to experience sexual pleasure on a level that is far beyond what can be achieved alone or with someone new. The familiarity and safety created through emotional bonding bring about deeper satisfaction in a way that surpasses mere physical touch. This isn't just about the mechanics of sex. It's about the emotional energy that flows between two people, creating an experience that feels incredibly rewarding, intimate, and profoundly personal. This connection often leads to moments of sheer joy and pleasure that could not exist without the foundation of trust and shared emotional understanding. Have you ever had that spine-tingling sensation, like an electric shock running through your body, when you hear a piece of music that moves you? You know the feeling I'm talking about, when the melody or the lyrics hit you so deeply that it's as if your very soul is resonating with the music. It's an indescribable experience, like your whole body suddenly becomes alive, every nerve vibrating with energy and emotion. That sensation is known as frisson, or what some may call a skin orgasm. It's like a delicate yet powerful wave of emotion sweeping over you, and it can be triggered by so much more than just music. Frisson can be sparked by several experiences. Whether it's a captivating work of art, a breathtaking scene in a movie, or even a powerful, unexpected emotional connection with someone. This phenomenon is fascinating to me because it's something so uniquely human, this deep, involuntary response that makes our bodies vibrate with emotion. The thrill of it is that it's entirely unpredictable. You never know when or why it will happen, yet when it does, it can take your breath away. There's something profoundly moving about those moments when our entire body responds to beauty, art, or connection in such an involuntary and overwhelming way. It's as though the universe, or something greater, is reminding us of the profound and emotional experience of simply being alive and present in that moment. Frisson feels like a gift, a reminder of how much more than just the physical world we live in. We're also deeply emotional beings, constantly searching for connection and meaning. Now, when it comes to the realm of sexual pleasure, it's important to acknowledge something truly remarkable and incredibly unique about every woman. Every woman is as distinct as a snowflake, and her body is her own, unique in how it responds to touch, to pleasure, and to the act of intimacy. No two women experience orgasm in the same way, and that's a beautiful truth. It's something that I believe should be celebrated. The nerve endings in a woman's genitals are uniquely distributed in such a way that is specific to her, making her sexual experiences completely individual. This uniqueness means that what brings one woman to the height of pleasure may not work the same way for another. And that's perfectly okay. It's a beautiful reminder that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to intimacy. Sexual pleasure is an intimate and deeply personal journey, one that is as varied as the women who experience it. This individuality only adds to the complexity and beauty of the sexual experience. What works for one woman may not have the same effect on another, and that's why understanding and communication between partners are so important. It's about learning, discovering, and cherishing each other's uniqueness. And then, when we think about the physiological aspects of orgasm, there's something profoundly magical and awe-inspiring about the way the body reacts during sexual pleasure. When a woman experiences orgasm, the rhythmic contractions of the vagina aren't just a pleasurable feeling. They're part of a deeply ingrained, involuntary response from the body. These contractions, in fact, are the uterus working to draw sperm inside, an ancient, biological instinct tied to reproduction. Isn't that incredible? It's as though the body's very biology is responding to intimacy in a way that connects us to the most primal aspects of who we are. The intensity of these physical sensations is something that is deeply tied to the body's natural, unspoken instincts. It's a reminder that our sexual experiences are not just about physical pleasure, but are intimately connected to our biology, our instincts, and our capacity for life-giving connection. There's something undeniably beautiful and humbling about this process, this connection to the ancient and natural flow of life itself. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Ultimately, sexual intimacy, and the profound pleasure that can come with it, is so much more than just a physical experience. It's about emotional bonds, about connection, about discovering the unique aspects of one another's bodies, and about learning to celebrate what makes each partner feel loved, appreciated, and deeply satisfied. The beauty of intimacy lies in the union of mind, body, and soul, where every touch, every gesture, every moment is a celebration of the connection that goes beyond the surface and touches something deeper within both individuals. The way our bodies react, the way we respond to touch, sound, and emotion, this is all part of the magic of intimacy, and it is something to be cherished and respected as we navigate the intricacies of love, trust, and connection. For men, the journey toward true sexual satisfaction is often far more intricate than one might expect. It's a winding path, filled with unexpected twists and turns, shaped not just by physical encounters but by emotions, vulnerabilities, and deep connections. The conventional belief that having multiple sexual partners throughout a lifetime leads to greater satisfaction is surprisingly misleading. Many men discover that the more sexual partners they have, the less fulfilled they feel in the long run. It is often the case that their most satisfying and meaningful sexual experiences are those with someone they truly care about, a partner with whom they share emotional intimacy. It's an eye-opening realization. The quality of the emotional bond between two people often holds the key to greater pleasure, not the sheer number of encounters. This is a profound truth that challenges the traditional view of sexuality, and it speaks to a deeper, more emotional side of intimacy. The paradox is fascinating. Men may find that, as they develop deeper emotional connections, their physical pleasure increases. This isn't just about the physical act itself, but rather how those emotions, trust, affection, connection, flow through their interactions. Men who experience genuine emotional closeness often report fewer erection issues, less pain during sex, and a greater sense of fulfillment overall. In contrast, casual encounters, which might be physically thrilling at the moment, often lack the depth required to foster lasting satisfaction. The emotional connection enables both partners to relax and truly experience each other, in a way that transcends the physical. It's a delicate dance where the mind and body are in perfect harmony. The importance of emotional intimacy can't be overstated. In my personal opinion, it's this very connection that lays the foundation for the most meaningful and pleasurable sexual experiences. Physical pleasure is a wonderful thing, but when it is paired with emotional depth, the experience becomes something truly magical. It's something I've come to cherish, and it's an aspect of intimacy I believe many overlook in the pursuit of fleeting physical satisfaction. It's also important to acknowledge the profound shift that's happening in modern relationships, especially among younger generations. More than half of young adults, particularly those between the ages of 18 and 24, openly admit that their last sexual experience was with a casual hookup. This statistic sheds light on the growing trend of instant gratification and the pursuit of casual encounters. It speaks volumes about the cultural shift we're witnessing, where emotional connection and commitment often take a back seat to physical pleasure. This shift can be exhilarating for some, but it also creates a sense of emptiness for others. There's a dissonance between the thrill of the moment and the longing for something deeper, something more emotionally fulfilling. In this fast-paced world of hookup culture, it can be easy to lose sight of the emotional intimacy that forms the true foundation of meaningful relationships. It's almost as if we're caught between two worlds, the desire for immediate satisfaction and the yearning for lasting emotional connection. In my opinion, this tension is what makes modern relationships so complex and, at times, frustrating. We're at a crossroads where we must decide whether we want to continue down the path of short-term pleasure or seek out the depth of connection that comes with emotional intimacy. Let's also delve into the topic of oral sex, a practice often considered safer than other forms of sexual activity due to its lower risk of pregnancy. However, despite being perceived as less risky, oral sex is still not without its dangers. The exchange of bodily fluids can still transmit infections, and it's essential to exercise caution and practice safe sex. It's easy to overlook the risks, but it's crucial to stay vigilant and take the necessary precautions to protect both yourself and your partner. In my view, safety should always come first, and the importance of open, honest communication with your partner cannot be emphasized enough. But within this topic, there's another surprising layer that's become a notable part of modern sexual exploration: erotic biting. While it may seem strange to some, this playful yet intimate act has emerged as a shared pleasure for both men and women. Studies show that approximately 55% of women and 50% of men openly admit they enjoy being bitten during intimate moments. This may seem shocking to those unfamiliar with the idea, but it's an expression of vulnerability and passion that adds an exciting dynamic to the experience. The act of biting blends pain and pleasure, creating a heightened sense of sensation that intensifies the sexual encounter. For many, this act symbolizes a deepening of connection, an unspoken way to communicate desire and a way to playfully explore boundaries. There's something incredibly sensual about this combination of pleasure and pain. It's the kind of experience that makes your heart race and your senses come alive. I think this playful aggression adds an entirely new dimension to intimacy. It's raw, it's real, and it brings a certain excitement that many find electrifying. In my experience, this is the kind of sexual exploration that fosters both emotional and physical pleasure, allowing both partners to experience intimacy more profoundly. Ultimately, the journey of sexual satisfaction is complex, multilayered, and deeply personal. It's not just about physical pleasure, but about the emotional bonds we form with our partners. The physical and emotional aspects of intimacy are intertwined in ways we're just beginning to fully understand. While society may often focus on the number of sexual encounters or the thrill of casual hookups, it's the deeper connections that lead to true fulfillment. Emotional intimacy is what makes sex meaningful, and it's what transforms the physical act into something far more powerful. Whether it's the deep connection with a partner or the playful exploration of desire, Sexual satisfaction is not just about the body. It's about the mind, the heart, and the soul. In my opinion, it's the emotional depth that truly enhances our sexual experiences, and that's something worth cherishing. Did you know that the word clitoris has divine origins? It is derived from the ancient Greek word that means goddess or divine, and that alone should give us a glimpse into the profound reverence and respect it holds in the realm of female pleasure. This small yet incredibly powerful organ has been recognized throughout history as something not just of the body, but of the soul. It's a reminder that female pleasure is sacred, precious, and deserving of deep admiration. The clitoris, so often a symbol of women's pleasure, reminds us that pleasure is something divinely embedded within us. When we talk about orgasm and sexual pleasure, it's important to realize that both men and women experience their own unique, beautifully complex paths to ecstasy. These paths may differ in the sensations they evoke, but the joy, the connection, and the depth of pleasure they bring are universally profound. For men, one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked, paths to orgasm is through anal stimulation. Yes, it may be surprising, but it's real. Anal orgasms are a completely legitimate and deeply pleasurable experience. The prostate, sometimes referred to as the P-spot, is a treasure chest of pleasure waiting to be unlocked. When stimulated, it can produce orgasms that are intense, incredibly satisfying, and unforgettable. The sensation is unlike any other, often described as more profound. The experience of prostate stimulation during anal sex can be transformative, allowing men to experience a new dimension of pleasure that is as equally intimate as it is powerful. It's a journey worth exploring for those open to embracing their bodies in new ways. There is so much beauty in understanding that men, too, can experience this layer of emotional and physical pleasure, and yet it remains a topic that is still so shrouded in mystery for many. Similarly, women have their exquisite path to deep pleasure, and for some, it begins with pressure on the A-spot, an area located near the cervix. The A-spot is not something that is often discussed, but holds the potential for deeply intense and overwhelming pleasure. This spot, although not as widely known as others, can trigger waves of bliss that radiate throughout the entire body. The pressure applied to the A-spot can create an experience that is rich with pleasure, one that often leaves women feeling as if they've tapped into something much deeper than just physical release. For many, the A-spot can spark orgasms that are powerful, profound, and at times, emotionally transformative. These moments of intimacy aren't just about the physical sensations. They're about a deep, connected experience with one's own body, mind, and emotions. It's as if this spot unlocks a doorway to the soul, leading to an experience that goes beyond anything ordinary. But let's not forget the complex and layered nature of human connection when it comes to intimacy. Winning over a woman's heart and body is rarely a straightforward journey. It's full of beautiful, intricate moments of connection, each one unique to the person you are sharing them with. One of the most sensual, yet often underestimated, gestures is a kiss on the neck. For so many women, a kiss on the neck can feel irresistible, electric, and utterly seductive. Over 97% of women consider the neck one of the most erotic spots on their body, and it's not hard to see why. It's an area that is both sensitive and intimate, and when kissed with tenderness, it can evoke deep feelings of desire and closeness. It's as if the neck becomes a portal to the heart, a place where vulnerability and affection meet most gently and profoundly. The neck is one of those spots where intimacy can be communicated in the most subtle, yet powerful, manner. And when we venture into the realm of the G-spot, we find that it is a complex and fascinating area that deserves more understanding. The G-spot has been a subject of much debate and mystery, and for good reason. Its location and the sensations it evokes can vary greatly from woman to woman. Not all women feel the same way about the G-spot, and its exact location can differ, making it an area of great personal discovery. Some women may experience intense pleasure from it, while others might not feel much at all. But that's the beauty of human sexuality. It's diverse, multifaceted, and deeply personal. There is no right way to experience pleasure, and the G-spot is just one part of a much larger, deeply individual experience of intimacy and connection. Now, let's talk about a fascinating and somewhat surprising aspect of pleasure: nipple stimulation. Did you know that only about 1% of women can achieve orgasm purely from nipple stimulation? It's a rare phenomenon, but for those who can, it can be an experience like no other. The pleasure that comes from nipple stimulation for these women is intense and can be as pleasurable as any other form of orgasm. It's a deeply intimate sensation, one that taps into the body's capacity for pleasure in a way that is often overlooked. Nipple stimulation can serve as a beautiful reminder that pleasure is not limited to one specific area or sensation. The body, in all its complexity, is capable of so many unique forms of gratification, each one offering something different. For the women who experience orgasm this way, it can feel like an awakening, a reminder of the beautiful complexity of their bodies and what they are capable of. The world of sexual pleasure is vast, diverse, and endlessly fascinating. It's a world that is constantly unfolding, revealing new layers of sensation, emotional connection, and intimacy. Every person's body holds a treasure trove of unique sensations just waiting to be explored. From the electrifying frisson that surges through your body during an intimate moment, to the deep, soul-stirring orgasms that can leave you breathless and filled with gratitude, sexual pleasure is a journey worth taking. And the best part is that no two journeys are the same. Each person's body is a universe of its own, with sensations that are uniquely theirs. This is the beauty of human connection. It's about exploring those unique sensations with someone who values and respects them just as much as you do. It's not just about physical release. It's about embracing the full spectrum of pleasure, the emotional, spiritual, and physical connections that make intimacy something to be cherished and explored. And that is something truly extraordinary. Oral sex, without a doubt, is a magnificent cornerstone of intimacy, cherished as the pinnacle of sexual fantasies by both men and women. It is a profound act that transcends mere physical pleasure, often creating a unique space for emotional connection and vulnerability. When partners engage in oral sex, it's more than just a physical exchange. It's an intimate expression of trust, affection, and a deep desire to please one another. For women, it holds an exceptional significance, unlocking layers of pleasure and emotional connection that few other acts can provide. It creates an opportunity for deep intimacy and passionate exploration, sparking moments of euphoria that can leave both partners feeling connected on a level far beyond the surface. For women, the experience of oral sex can be life-changing most beautifully. The depth of pleasure that arises from it can be overwhelming. During oral sex, a woman may experience an orgasm that feels like an eternity of bliss, ranging from 3 to 51 seconds of pure ecstasy. The intensity of these orgasms is breathtaking, with each second feeling more like a profound release of both physical and emotional tension. What many don't realize is that a woman's ability to achieve such an orgasm is not only about physical stimulation. It's about feeling emotionally attuned and safe with her partner, creating an environment where she can completely let go and experience the overwhelming waves of pleasure that oral sex so often brings. It's no wonder that many women regard oral sex as one of the most powerful and enjoyable forms of intimacy. What's fascinating is that, yes, women can and do experience ejaculation, but it's important to understand that squirting, ejaculation, and orgasm are three separate yet interconnected events. Each brings its own unique and distinct sensations, and all contribute to the multifaceted nature of female pleasure. While ejaculation is a physical release, an orgasm can be an intense, overwhelming emotional and physical experience that leaves a woman feeling utterly fulfilled. Squirting, on the other hand, can feel like an explosion of intense release, and yet it should never be viewed as the ultimate goal. The diversity of these experiences showcases the complexity of female pleasure, and each of these occurrences is a testament to the incredible depth of sensation a woman can feel. The clitoris, a small yet extraordinarily sensitive organ, is a key to unlocking some of the most intense pleasure a woman can experience. With its 8,000 nerve endings, twice as many as the penis, it becomes the epicenter of sexual ecstasy. It's mind-blowing when you consider the immense potential for pleasure housed in such a small part of the body. This little treasure trove of sensitivity can bring waves of pleasure that can be more intense than anything else. making it an irreplaceable part of the female anatomy. Yet, despite this, there remains a deep, almost unwavering obsession with penetration in society, often leading to a lack of focus on the true potential of the clitoris. The reality is that only about 18% of women can achieve orgasm from penetration alone. This statistic is startling, yet it's a truth that so many are reluctant to acknowledge. The reason. It's not about the depth of penetration, it's about the nuances of stimulation and the attention to a woman's most sensitive areas. Some of the most fulfilling sexual moments don't come from deep thrusts at all. The magic often lies in more subtle, slower movements, those that gently stimulate the G-spot or focus on the clitoris itself. These movements are often much more effective in bringing a woman to orgasm, revealing just how important it is to understand a woman's body, her desires, and her needs. It's these quiet, intimate moments, where both partners are tuned into each other's cues and emotional states, that often bring forth the most intense and memorable experiences of pleasure. When done right, the pleasure radiates through the woman's entire body, and it's as if her brain lights up in a symphony of desire. It's truly something magical, a fusion of emotional and physical connection that is rarely matched by any other act. However, despite all of this, there is a heartbreaking reality that so many women face: the struggle to reach orgasm. It's a harsh truth, but a staggering 30% of women report that they have difficulty achieving orgasm, with some even stating that they have never experienced it. The fact that 1 in 10 women has never tasted the sweetness of orgasm is both painful and frustrating. It's not just about physical barriers, but emotional ones too. So many women feel disconnected from their bodies, disconnected from their pleasure, or simply unheard when it comes to their desires. It's heartbreaking to know that some women feel that their pleasure is secondary or not prioritized in their sexual relationships. The intimacy that oral sex provides should not be seen as an isolated experience. It should be part of a larger conversation about pleasure, communication, and emotional connection in relationships. The disparity between the immense potential for pleasure and the reality that so many women face in achieving it is deeply moving. It's a call to action, urging for greater awareness, better communication, and more mutual respect in intimate relationships. It's essential to understand that intimacy is not a one-sided act. It's a shared experience that requires both partners to be fully present, to listen, and to respond to each other's needs. The fact that so many women struggle to reach orgasm speaks volumes about the need for more openness, more exploration, and a deeper understanding of female sexuality. It's a tragic reminder that despite how far we've come in understanding the complexities of pleasure, there is still so much more to be done. It's time to rewrite the narrative around female pleasure and create a world where every woman can experience the joy, satisfaction, and connection that she deserves. In relationships, especially those that are long-term and deeply committed, there is an inherent, often unspoken, need for openness, understanding, and genuine communication. It goes beyond the simple exchanges of "How was your day?" or "What's for dinner?" It's about peeling back the layers of who we are, revealing our fears, our dreams, and the emotions we often don't dare share. In matters of intimacy, especially, this emotional closeness forms the foundation for something far more significant than mere physical satisfaction. Women, in particular, tend to experience more frequent and deeply satisfying orgasms within the safety and trust of a committed partnership than in transient, one-night encounters where emotional intimacy is usually lacking. While fleeting physical connections can bring short-lived pleasure, the lack of emotional depth often leaves a void that cannot be filled, no matter how satisfying the physical aspect might seem in the moment. It's the bond, the trust, and the shared emotional vulnerability that creates the space for a fuller, more gratifying sexual connection. The true beauty of intimacy lies in these small, tender moments. Imagine the simplicity and tenderness of kissing a woman softly while she sleeps, or gently whispering in her ear as she stirs awake. These moments go far beyond the physical. They are steeped in emotional connection, and they hold the power to create a bond that reaches past the realm of touch. When partners engage in each other's fantasies or share in their deepest desires, they create something incredibly special. A bond that transcends the physical, forming a potent combination of both emotional and sexual connection. It is a dance, an intricate and delicate movement where each step, whether it be a soft touch, a shared glance, or a whispered word, builds a bridge that deepens trust, strengthens love, and fortifies the foundation of the relationship. However, this kind of connection is not something that comes effortlessly. It requires a level of courage. Courage to be vulnerable, to be honest about what truly ignites the passion between two people. It takes bravery to admit what excites you, what you fantasize about, and to communicate that openly with your partner. Many people shy away from these conversations, unsure of how their desires will be received, but it is in these very conversations that relationships can be strengthened. By speaking honestly about your desires, you open the door for your partner to do the same, which fosters a deeper emotional bond. It's not just about talking. It's about truly listening and understanding the needs, wants, and desires of the other person. When both partners feel heard, when both feel understood, they create the safe space necessary for exploring one another's most intimate aspects. It is also essential to remember that physical touch is not the only pathway to pleasure. The human body is full of sensitivity, and understanding this opens the door to greater intimacy. Take, for example, the clitoris, an area so incredibly sensitive, packed with 8,000 nerve endings that cry out for tenderness and focus. This delicate part of the body requires more than just a casual touch. It needs care, gentleness, and attention to detail. A partner who is attuned to this sensitivity, and who takes the time to understand the different ways to please, will always create a more satisfying experience. The small things matter: a soft, deliberate touch, the right pressure, a slow build-up. It's the attention to detail that transforms a simple physical act into something far more profound. And of course, let's not forget the importance of subtlety in all aspects of intimacy. The way a partner takes care of themselves physically can have a significant impact on the experience. For instance, personal grooming and hygiene matter, particularly in sensitive areas, like the groin. Something as seemingly trivial as an untrimmed beard can cause discomfort or even a sense of distraction, breaking the connection in that moment. Every little detail plays its part, and when you care for yourself and your partner in these ways, you show that you value them, not just physically, but emotionally as well. This speaks volumes about the respect and care that underpins a strong relationship. The importance of physical fitness cannot be overlooked either. It's not about achieving the perfect body, but rather about the confidence and energy that comes with an active lifestyle. There's something incredibly attractive about a physically fit partner, someone who has the energy to keep up with life's demands, and who feels good in their body. This confidence doesn't only show itself in the way a person looks, but in the energy they bring to every part of life, including intimacy. Women, especially, are drawn to men who take care of themselves physically, not necessarily because of how they look, but because of the energy and confidence that comes with a healthy, active lifestyle. There is something magnetic about someone who is comfortable in their body and brings that same sense of self-assurance to the bedroom. It's that confidence that radiates, creating an irresistible energy that amplifies intimacy. However, the sad reality is that many people suffer in silence when it comes to dissatisfaction with their sex lives. This dissatisfaction often stems from the silence. Both partners may feel unfulfilled or disconnected, but they don't communicate their feelings. This silence creates a chasm between them, preventing true intimacy from blossoming. Addressing these concerns and being open about desires is essential to bridging that gap. Without open communication, intimacy can become a mere routine, devoid of the passion and excitement it should carry. Regarding sexual positions, while the 69 position is often celebrated for the simultaneous stimulation it provides, the true power of positions like these often lies in the sensations they bring to each partner. For many men, positions such as doggy style offer deeper penetration, which many find incredibly satisfying on a physical level. Yet, beyond the physical act itself, the role of scent in attraction cannot be understated. There is something deeply primal about scent, the very essence of attraction. Testosterone, the hormone that defines masculinity, has a distinct smell that can stir deep desire in women. There are even specially designed fragrances that mimic this alluring scent, intensifying the sexual tension in a way that no other stimuli can. This connection between scent and attraction is primal, something that taps into our deepest, most instinctive desires. Ultimately, intimacy is not just about physical closeness, it is a deeply emotional experience. It's about connection, trust, vulnerability, and the willingness to explore both physical and emotional boundaries. When both partners are willing to engage in this process, to be open about their desires and fears, they create a relationship that is not only physically satisfying but emotionally rich as well. The emotional connection that builds over time allows both partners to grow together, to explore together, and to experience a bond that is deeper than anything physical could ever provide. This emotional and sexual dance, when done right, fosters a level of intimacy that is both profound and transformative. The courage to be vulnerable, the willingness to communicate openly, and the shared desire to explore each other's most intimate needs create a space for a love that is lasting, fulfilling, and powerful. Relationships where partners are too similar may not always stand the test of time, even though they might appear perfect on the surface. While it's true that shared values, goals, and interests can create a solid foundation, it's often the subtle differences that create the spark of attraction, the unique dynamic that keeps the relationship feeling alive and exciting. When two people are too alike, the thrill of discovery fades, and the relationship can begin to feel more like a comfortable routine than a passionate connection. The beauty of a relationship lies in the nuances that make each person different. The quirks, the unique perspectives, and the varied experiences that both partners bring to the table. These differences are what fuel attraction, adding that unpredictable element that makes love feel exciting and new, even as time goes on. As life progresses, particularly during significant phases such as menopause, a woman's sexual desires and emotional needs may evolve in ways that can sometimes surprise both partners. Menopause, which is often associated with negative connotations and the end of one's sexual vitality, can signal the beginning of a new phase of intimacy and self-discovery. It's a time when many women find that their desires change, sometimes intensifying as their bodies transform. Far from losing interest in sex, many women experience a deeper appreciation for their bodies and the pleasures that can still be enjoyed. These shifts are part of a natural process, and embracing them can lead to a more fulfilling and passionate connection. As the body changes, so too does the way partners experience and share intimacy, making it essential for couples to remain adaptable, patient, and open to exploring this new terrain together. Emotional intimacy, much like physical intimacy, is fluid and constantly evolving. Understanding that these shifts happen in every relationship is essential for maintaining a vibrant and fulfilling partnership. As the emotional connection deepens, so too should the physical connection. Both types of intimacy are intricately linked, and recognizing these subtle changes is key to sustaining a long-lasting, loving bond. At the heart of this evolution lies communication. The ability to speak openly and honestly with each other about your needs, desires, and any changes you may be going through. The importance of open dialogue cannot be overstated, especially when navigating the complex dynamics of aging, evolving desires, and changing emotional needs. It's through these conversations that both partners can find reassurance, clarity, and a renewed sense of connection. Mutual respect is another cornerstone of any healthy relationship, particularly when it comes to intimacy. Respecting each other's bodies, desires, and boundaries is vital for cultivating a relationship where both partners feel safe and appreciated. This is where sexual education plays an important role, helping to dismantle the barriers of shame and anxiety that often surround intimacy. The more knowledge both partners have about each other's physical and emotional needs, the more they can break down these walls and foster an environment of trust and comfort. When shame is removed from the equation, couples can explore each other's bodies and emotions with greater freedom, leading to a deeper and more satisfying experience. Proper sexual education not only alleviates anxieties but also helps partners develop a more nuanced understanding of what pleases them, leading to more fulfilling and enjoyable experiences. It is through this process of learning about each other that couples can create a stronger bond, one based on mutual understanding, respect, and a shared desire to make the relationship the best it can be. Adjusting your expectations and working together to find solutions that meet both partners' needs is crucial in building a partnership that is both nurturing and exciting. It's not about one partner winning or getting more, but rather about both partners working together as a team to create a fulfilling and joyful relationship. This journey is not a static one, but rather an ongoing adventure where both individuals continuously evolve and learn from each other. One of the most beautiful aspects of sexual intimacy is that it is not just about physical pleasure, but also about emotional connection. Emotional intimacy often deepens as the physical relationship matures, creating a bond that is far more profound than any fleeting physical pleasure. At the heart of intimacy is the connection between souls, the shared experience of vulnerability, trust, and care. This is where a method like the Karita method comes in, emphasizing the soul-deep bond between partners over the mere pursuit of orgasm. The focus is on emotional intimacy, on creating a connection that transcends physical satisfaction and speaks to the deeper, more meaningful aspects of a relationship. The Karita method reminds us that true intimacy is not just about physical climax. It's about connecting on a deeper level, where both partners feel heard, understood, and loved. This kind of intimacy can be far more fulfilling in the long run, as it nurtures not only the body but the heart and soul. Attraction is not always rooted in physical appearance. While physical attraction is certainly a part of any romantic relationship, many women find that true attraction is far more complex. It's about the way a partner makes them feel, emotionally, intellectually, and physically. As a relationship deepens, appearance becomes secondary to the emotional connection that has been built over time. That said, this doesn't mean that self-care and grooming aren't important. Taking the time to look after oneself can be incredibly attractive. Men who take pride in their appearance, who trim their beards, keep their hair neat and dress with care, often find that they become more desirable to their partners. This attention to self-care not only signals self-respect, but also shows that you value your partner enough to make an effort. It's a simple yet deeply effective way to enhance intimacy, as it makes your partner feel cherished and cared for, which is incredibly alluring in its own right. Ultimately, the beauty of any relationship lies in its ability to evolve. Pleasure, in all its forms, is not static. It is something to be explored, celebrated, and cherished. Every phase of life brings new opportunities to connect, deepen intimacy, and explore new dimensions of pleasure, whether emotional, physical, or intellectual. What is most important is that couples continue to grow together, to support each other, and to cherish the bond they share. Intimacy, after all, is a journey, one that should be explored hand in hand, with love, respect, and a willingness to embrace all the wonderful complexities that come with it. Sexual fantasy is undeniably a crucial and often underestimated aspect of a healthy and fulfilling sex life. Fantasizing has the remarkable ability to reignite passion, breathe life into relationships, and introduce that much-needed spark of excitement and novelty. It's fascinating how our minds can transport us into new realms of desire, where the very act of fantasizing can awaken long-forgotten desires. The feeling of desire often surges when we engage with a new partner, not just because of the physical connection, but because of the sheer thrill and exhilaration that newness brings. It's this sense of novelty that stimulates our senses and brings a fresh wave of passion, almost as if it's unlocking a deeper layer of our desires. As Robert Sternberg brilliantly suggests in his theory of love, every relationship consists of three key elements: intimacy, passion, and commitment. These three fundamental ingredients, when blended, create a beautiful spectrum of love, ranging from fleeting passion to the most profound, enduring connection. The dynamic interplay between these elements is what makes each relationship unique, and in my opinion, what keeps love truly alive. Another profound and equally captivating aspect of human sexuality is how our attachment styles shape the way we experience intimacy. Whether we lean towards a secure, avoidant, or anxious attachment style, it profoundly impacts how we connect with others, emotionally and physically. A secure attachment style fosters a sense of safety and emotional closeness, leading to deeply fulfilling and stable sexual experiences. On the other hand, those with avoidant or anxious attachment styles may face emotional barriers, such as difficulty with vulnerability or fears of closeness, which can make intimacy a bit more complicated. It's heartbreaking to think about how these deep-rooted attachment patterns, formed early in life, can sometimes hinder the fullness of connection and intimacy that we long for. And then, some experience persistent genital arousal disorder, a condition where arousal happens without any obvious sexual stimulus. This just highlights how beautifully complex and mysterious human desire truly is, with its unpredictability and depth. One thing we often overlook, though, is the notion that sexual desire doesn't simply fade away with age. As we grow older, it's easy to believe that our sexual needs and desires might wane, but I deeply believe that, while they may evolve, they never truly disappear. They become more nuanced, and sometimes even more intense. The idea that desire diminishes with age couldn't be further from the truth. There's something so beautiful about how our desires transform over time, maturing alongside us. What's truly fascinating is the role of our senses, specifically the sense of smell, in arousal, regardless of age. Certain scents, whether it's a person's natural body chemistry or a fragrance they wear, can evoke a level of desire that feels almost primal, stirring something deep inside us that we didn't even realize was there. It's a reminder that attraction isn't just about what we see, but what we feel in every sense of the word. And let's not forget how the environment we find ourselves in can play a huge part in heightening desire. The warmth of a summer day, for instance, has a surprising effect on sexual activity, often sparking an increase in desire. It's a simple yet undeniable truth. Nature has a profound effect on us. Music, too, has an extraordinary power to create an emotional and sensual atmosphere, strengthening attraction in ways words simply can't express. The right melody can stir up emotions, setting the stage for intimacy in a way nothing else can. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. In all, sexuality is far more intricate, emotional, and complex than we often realize, and I believe that by embracing these facets of desire, fantasy, attachment, age, and sensory experiences, we can cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections that transcend physicality and speak to the very core of who we are. Let's delve into a subject that many shy away from but is essential for men's sexual health: erectile dysfunction. This condition, which silently affects countless men, often comes with profound emotional weight. It's not just a physical issue, it's an emotional struggle that can shake a man's sense of self-worth and lead to feelings of inadequacy, frustration, and even shame. The impact on relationships can be devastating, creating tension and distance between partners who may feel disconnected. Yet, there is hope on the horizon. Recent studies have uncovered a powerful tool that can help men reclaim their vitality and confidence: yoga. Yes, the ancient practice can play a transformative role in improving sexual function. By enhancing flexibility, reducing stress, and promoting a healthy mind-body connection, yoga has been shown to not only improve physical health but also reignite desire. It's a holistic approach that allows men to regain their sexual confidence, offering them a chance to feel empowered and whole once again. In today's fast-paced digital world, the landscape of intimacy has shifted dramatically, with cybersex emerging as a new avenue for connection. Though it can sometimes be viewed through a lens of skepticism, it's important to understand that, depending on the level of communication and consent, it can serve as either a bridge or a barrier. For long-distance couples, it can become a lifeline, allowing them to maintain intimacy when proximity is impossible. But there's a darker side to this digital intimacy. If it becomes a substitute for real-world connection, it can leave one or both partners feeling emotionally unfulfilled, craving genuine closeness that the screen can never truly provide. Similarly, the absence of physical affection in relationships can have a deeply isolating effect. Those tender moments, an unexpected kiss, a warm embrace, the gentle touch that speaks volumes, are not just acts of physical intimacy but profound expressions of emotional connection. When these small gestures are missing, they can leave partners feeling empty, as if something vital is missing from their relationship. It's a reminder of how essential physical touch is in nurturing intimacy. It's not just about the sexual act, It's about feeling seen, heard, and loved on a level that transcends words. We need to remember that affection is the glue that holds relationships together, giving them the emotional depth they need to thrive. Without it, partners can easily drift apart, leaving them yearning for the closeness they've lost. What an incredible journey we've gone on today, diving deep into some truly mind-blowing facts about intimacy, health, and the powerful connections we share with others. From how something as simple as a kiss or a scent can enhance pleasure, to the surprising role that emotional connection plays in intensifying our experiences, there's a lot to absorb. So, what have you learned so far? Was it the connection between pleasure and health? Or maybe the surprising science behind orgasms and fertility? Or perhaps you discovered something new about the emotional bonds that create stronger, more fulfilling relationships. I'd love to know what stood out to you the most. I want to hear your thoughts. Comment below with one thing you've learned today that you're going to bring into practice in your life. Whether it's a new perspective on how emotional connection plays a role in intimacy, or a helpful tip on how to enhance your sex life, share it with us. Your insights could help others, and we'd love to hear what you're taking away from this video. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. By subscribing, you'll get access to more content like this, all aimed at helping you build deeper emotional connections, reignite the passion in your relationships, and live a healthier, more fulfilling life. Thank you so much for watching today. I truly appreciate each one of you for being part of this community. I can't wait to hear your thoughts and see how you're going to put these insights into practice. Be sure to check out the rest of our videos for more advice and inspiration to enhance your relationships and enrich your life. See you in the next video.